Hello everyone, welcome back to our Cup of Wellbeing time. I'm quite excited about today's interview. I've got Catherine here, and today we're going to be talking about sleep and how to get a good night's sleep. And I'm really interested in this one because this is something I often struggle with myself, to have a good night's sleep. So I'm looking forward to perhaps finding out some tips of what I can do about that. So hi Catherine, lovely to have you with us. You work as a very busy job, don't you, as a primary school teacher, and I know that sleeping well was something you have struggled with at some time. So what was the thing that happened that caused you to find some help with that?
So I've figured out that since 2016, I've had sleeping problems due to mainly work, but other things too. And it got to a real bad point, I think, at the end of 2019, where I was probably sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night for 3 nights a week, which when you work, when you've got a full-on job, that's not enough sleep. And I was going to sleep and then waking up at about 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning, and then being up for 2 or 3 hours, and then getting probably 1 or 2 hours sleep at the end of the night, and then going into work. And it was really affecting me. I was pretty short-tempered. I had less energy, particularly to deal with difficult situations, constantly tired, and very short on patience. So probably at the end of 1919, beginning of 2020, I actually had a coaching session for something else completely different. But in the coaching session, we got down to self-care, and we were focusing on sleep. And for me, fortunately, the lady I was talking to had sleeping problems. And we ended up actually having a coaching session about sleep. And I put some of those strategies into practice. And since February 2020, so about a year, I've had some blips, but consistently sleep at night, which has massively made a difference. I know in my job, I feel a lot more energized, more patient, and outside of work as well. So yeah.
Oh, that sounds really brilliant. Well, we're dying to hear what you did, and what are those tips that you have for us?
Okay, so I've written down strategies. So I'm going to go through the different strategies that I've used. Some of them for me have been more effective, some of them less effective, but I thought I would go through them all. So one thing is I go to sleep probably the same time each night, and I also try to go to sleep the same time at weekends, because I've noticed that if I sleep late throughout the weekend, then I don't get enough sleep and I'm tired on the Monday, and then it sets me off badly for the week. So actually I try to go to sleep the same time every night. Another thing I do, now obviously it's lockdown at the moment, so I don't at the moment, but normally go swimming 1 or 2 times a week, and I do Pilates. Now, obviously at the moment I'm not, but I do go for a walk most weekends, and possibly an evening in the week. I found having exercise has been really helpful, and it means that I sleep better at night, so that's really effective. Particularly if I do swimming, I sometimes go in the evenings, which really helps. So that's another thing I do. Eating and drinking. I finish eating or drinking by 8 o'clock in the evening. So that means that I'm going to sleep not on a full stomach, and I tend to not drink tea or coffee in the evenings. So that makes a real difference. So yeah, by 8 o'clock, I'm pretty much finished. Something on the coaching session that has been really effective for me is writing down positives. So I've got a notebook that at the end of each day, I will write down the positives of the day, but I also write down a to-do list for the next day. It was a really helpful suggestion, and it really helps me because it clears my head. and I'll write everything down, work-wise or life-wise, I need to do the next day. I write it all down. And there's that kind of thing where done is good enough, where I've done my day, that's how it's gone, that's what I need to do. And it's kind of just emptying, clearing my head. So that's been really helpful. Another thing, so as a teacher, not every evening, but I do work in some evenings. And actually, I try to finish work an hour before I go to bed, and try and read or something like that to kind of again clear my head, which helps because by the time I go to sleep my head's a lot clearer. Another really good thing that was recommended on the coaching session was getting a sleep app on my phone. Now I've got, obviously there's different sleep apps, I'm sure there's other ones which are good too, but I've got the sleep cycle app, which I've had on my phone since February last year, so a year. And it's really good. So I know initially when I had it, it might sound a bit weird, but it has bedtime stories. So I know when I first got the app, it really actually helped. They're a bit funny, but it helped because actually you listen to the story and you kind of unwind for the day and then you go to sleep. So I think that really helped at the beginning. I don't do that anymore, but I do the sleep app every single night. I do it in school holidays, I do it weekends, I just do it every night. It's really good because it shows you your sleep patterns. So I've been looking at mine, and over a year, I get average 8 hours a night, which is a really good amount of sleep, considering what I was having. So 8 hours averaging, and it shows you when you have the deep sleep, and so that's made a real difference. And I think also it helps me because I also realised that I was spending half an hour lying in bed each night before I managed to get to sleep. So actually thinking, no, when I need to go to bed, I need to realise I need that half an hour. So I can't just go to bed later and later. I need to realise that. So that's been really helpful. So there's that. What else is there? Occasionally having a bath. So this maybe doesn't help me as much, but occasionally, if I'm really struggling, having a bath in the evening can help. I think that's the main things. That I do. I think, does that answer the question?
Yeah, that's really helpful. I've already picked up a few there that I'm going to try. So have you found then that since the beginning of last year then that you've just slept well, or does it ever, have you ever had to change things?
So on a general basis, I sleep really well. During school terms, I occasionally have a bad night, mainly probably to having worked too late, or having too much work on. And I know mainly during term time, it's 1 or 2 nights. Now I can probably do 1 night and go back into the routine of sleeping, but occasionally that will go 1 night, 2 nights, and probably by the second night, if I don't do something about it, it goes back into not sleeping. My last proper blip, so I probably had, was trying to think about it today, have had the odd night since October, but I know at the end of October I had about 3 bad nights, and I knew that it was going into the wrong pattern. I knew from experience, and I remember I got some people to pray, which was really helpful, but I also went back to some strategies. So I know I probably got a bit stopped writing things down, which I find really helpful. So I definitely went back to writing down my positives of the day, the things that I needed to do the next day. That for me is really effective, and that really helped. I remember at the time I probably had a few baths in the evenings. I think that helped just to relax a bit. I've also started to drink nighttime tea. So you can buy nighttime tea in the shops, which is, I'm not a herb herby tea first thing at all, but it's quite good. It's quite nice, kind of relaxing drink, which I sometimes have again probably by 8 o'clock in the evening. But that's helpful. So I think the writing thing is definitely something that works for me. And if I consistently do it, it works really well. And I think the other thing that I have to be really careful about is about having that hour at the end of the day. And I know I've read before about how you shouldn't be on screens for that last hour of the day. I think certainly for me, not working that last hour, that works really well.
So there's lots of things there that I've already found helpful myself, and I'm sure lots of other people will find it, some really helpful tips there. So I just want to say a big thank you for sharing that with us today, and thank you for coming on here. Thanks, Catherine.
Great.
Bye.